Hi, it's Paula from Pola Quilting. Welcome to my channel. Last year I really wanted to make a Christmas tree skirt, but I've run out of time. I was planning it about November, beginning of December time. So like many others in this industry of the quilting, I'm starting early this year to make sure I have it done by then. So I've designed my Christmas tree skirt, and today I'll be showing you block 1. We will need 2 different blocks to complete this project. All dimensions and the layout will be available on the Pola Quilting with Friends Facebook group as a document you can download. Let's get started. So I'm basing it on the 6.5 inch squares on the grid 7 by 7. So in the middle will be just a, normal block 6 by 6 from whatever fabric, because that's where I'm going to make a hole to obviously to put the Christmas stand through. Now here will be just again some normal blocks from whatever fabric I see will fit with the rest, because that's where my slit is going to be. I will kind of make the corners on diagonal, so again in those 4 corners will be just normal blocks. I probably will match them with whatever it will be here. Then I will have a Christmas tree and Christmas presents blocks, and they are going to be directional, so I've made the sketch where I need to go with. I need 22 Christmas trees blocks. I need 1 for that slit here, 1 dark block. Then I need 7 plain blocks for corners and that place where the slit will go through. And then I need 19 Christmas presents. So my Christmas presents are going to be red and blue, and obviously Christmas tree are going to be green with some plain-ish fabric around to pop them up from the Christmas presents. So for the Christmas present block I need some strips, and I pulled them out from my wonky strips bucket and normal strips bucket, wherever I could find some red, and I cut them more or less to 7.5 inch lengths. And what I need to do now is sew them together. As you can see, I don't have a lot of variety, but for that block you don't need a lot of variety. I mean, the more you have obviously it would be nicer, but if you don't, no problem either. So what you want to do is sew them together in the strip sets to build about 3.5 inches width. So I will be making 10 of those, and then when I finish, when I will have 2 of those strip sets about 3.5 inches width. I mean, you can have a 2 inches on one side, and obviously you will need 4.5 on the other side, so they don't have to be exactly even. I will put the blue 1 inch strip in the middle. So, and the total width or the total height of the block needs to be 6.5 inch at this point. So that's what I'm going to do first. Once I've got them done that way, I will slash them somewhere more or less in the middle, and I will add the blue strip that way, and that will create our Christmas block. However, that's not the last thing we will be doing with those blocks, so let me do those red ones and the blue ones, and I will show you what the next step was going to be to add a little bit of twist to those blocks. With the blue Christmas presents blocks, I will be doing the same thing, just the strip is going to be red, so they're going to be popping up a little bit from those blocks. Okay, so I've sewn my strip sets. I just need to measure now. They've got 6.5. If they don't, obviously I can add another strip somewhere to the side to make it 6.5. And also you may have noticed that some of my strips, another strip set here, is much longer, and that's because I like to create a next project while I'm doing a current project. So when I cut it to 6.5, I will have at least good 2.5, maybe a little bit more for another project to go with the strips. So kind of thinking a little bit ahead. Okay, so I will iron those pieces now and starch them. I like to starch my strips very much, so you know it's easy to work with them. Also, when you're sewing them, don't forget to narrow down the stitch length to 1.8 at least, because that will make your work much easier later. When you're cutting all of those things, they will not come off. What we need to do now is add the last bit of detail to those blocks I've been mentioning before. And so what we need for that is old t-shirt, one blue and one red, because those are the colors of our strips. I've got one, this is my old t-shirt, and this one somebody gave me. You know, kids t-shirts very good for that because they grow up very quickly. If you don't have any, maybe have a look in the, you know, thrift store, something you can buy very cheaply, or just ask a friend. So what we need to do is take our t-shirt, and basically I need some strips out of it. And why I'm using t-shirt for it is because this fabric doesn't fray. So basically you can easily use it for whatever you need. And I will cut it to, let me take a different ruler, I will cut it 1.5 inch, more or less. Again, it's not something I will need to kind of worry if it's a little bit different measurement. But what I want to check is when I stretch it, it should kind of roll on itself and make that like a spaghetti string. Here you go. The more you kind of pull, the nicer it will roll in. So this got about 12.5, 13, about 15 inches in length. So let me just see if that's going to be good length to do our Christmas bows. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that length is perfect. So what I will do now, I will cut enough of those strings for all of my blocks, and basically I will just stitch it in the middle on those blocks. Doesn't look cool? And like I said, because they don't fray, after you wash them, you don't have to do anything else to those strings to be able to use them in the quilts. If you worry that it will like be too much mangling here once you want to do everything together, like stitch it and keep it folded, what you can do is just stitch them first and then put them on the block. So literally I'm just doing that, like fold them into 3, squish them together, and it's ready to go. And that's how it will go on the top. So what I will do, I will just stitch it through in the middle. Let's take another one. 2, 3. Let's see how it looks. So this is how it looks at the moment. So what I will now do when I'm stitching it on the block, I will also twist it a little bit so that stitch inside kind of doesn't pop out on the top of it. And probably it will be good now to use the color coordinated thread. Like if I use a red, I won't be able to see it at all. So let me change my thread on the machine and we carry on. Okay, so I've got my thread changed now to red, and what I will also do before stitching the bows on the fabric is narrow down the stitch length, probably to like 1/8. So I'm starting with my stitching before the bow. I'm not going straight on the bow, and then I'm just going through, and then I will finish a little bit after the bow as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'll just cut that one off, and it looks pretty nice. Here you go. Let's try the next one. So again, I will just, let me just cut the thread off. I will just twist it, and then you just use your hands to kind of mold it to the way you want it to look. Again, however this looks like, it really doesn't matter because it won't fray. So just to twist. Now because I've got the red thread, that thread here is not going to be as much visible on the other bows. So it probably is a good idea to start with the red thread straight away in that point of time. So, but I will just cover it up, twist it, cover it up, place it on my block. And then again, I'm starting before the block. Or I'm starting before the bow, because I've got very narrow down stitch here, and then I'm kind of holding the block to not go straight away in. It kind of sets itself there so it won't kind of unravel itself. Or you can use the back stitch, whichever is more convenient. And I'm going through. This is very soft. There is a little bit of bulk there, but it's soft, so you should not have any problem with the machine to sew it through. I'm just pulling it on the back a little bit, so to go through that bulk. And then when I go to the other side again, I'm stitching a little bit past the bow. And I will pull all of the threads to the back of the block before I start putting the blocks together to finish them off. Okay, so I will carry on and add all of my bows, and I will, like I said, finish off all of those threads to put them to the other side. I won't be cutting them off, I will just pull them through to the other side. And the block number 1 for our Christmas skirt, Christmas tree skirt, will be ready. And here they are, my Christmas blocks, Christmas gift blocks, to make a part of my Christmas tree skirt. I really like how they come out, and I did made a little bit of adjustment there when I was stitching those bows. Let me just show you the close-up. Instead of just stitching through that little bit of bit where the bow is, I actually went through top to bottom on that line, and it actually made the much quicker stitching as well, because I just chain pieced everything. I did find color coordinated threads, so they don't kind of stand out too much, but it made much easier and much neater output as well. So I would recommend you do it that way. Now I was also thinking that if you have made those blocks smaller, like maybe 3.5 inches, so it will be like a quarter of what you see at the moment, and make a nice wall hanging and add possibly a number, that would make a great advent calendar. So that might be a project for next year. But for now, I would just like to finish my Christmas skirt. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check the description below for all the links to the project and resources mentioned in this video. If you make those blogs and use them for something else, please be sure to share it on my Facebook group page, Pola Quilting with Friends. Next week we'll be making the second blog to complete this project, but I also have in plan a Christmas table runner, so be sure to subscribe not to miss out. Thank you for watching and see you next time.